with grateful hearts, thanking you for the privilege of gathering together in service to the people of your community. We thank you for the leaders of Kirby, Texas, and for every citizen who calls this city home. Lord, we ask that you grant this council wisdom in its decisions, integrity in its actions, and unity in its purpose. Help each member to listen carefully, think clearly, and act in ways that promote the well-being, safety, and prosperity of all the residents and businesses here in Kirby. Guide the discussion that will take place this evening. Let respect govern every conversation. Let the common good remain at the center of every decision. Bless our first responders, our city employees, the businesses in this city, the schools, the churches, and the families who work each day to strengthen our community. May your favor rest upon the city of Kirby, and may we continue to grow as a city marked by service, cooperation, and hope. I offer this prayer in the name of the Savior, of whom I know and trust. Amen. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mission statement: the city of Kirby is dedicated to delivering excellent municipal services to our community in a responsible manner. Please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick.
Present.
Councilmember Lozano. Councilmember Garza.
Here.
Councilmember Molina. Councilmember Street.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca. Here. Mayor Greider.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Councilmember Lozano did notify us that she would be late, and Councilmember Molina did notify us that he would not be here tonight. Moving on to 5 citizen participation. First up, we have Antonio Zavala from the Crime Control Corps. Please step up to the podium.
Hello, everybody. Well, my name is retired Master Sergeant Antonio Salas. I actually served for the Army for 21 years, 2 combat tours, and 100% disabled veteran. I will be sad to say that I am resigned as the Vice President of the Crime Control and Prevention because of a meeting that took place between the City Manager and Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca, along with the President currently right now, at the time. So the reason why I resigned was because of some of the approaches that were taken by the City Manager. I think that we need to understand that there's a sense of professionalism, a sense of approach, and a sense of understanding of how volunteers like me and other individuals go out of their way for hard work and a lot of dedication to try to fix some things that are broken. But again, I'm retired, so really, I don't have to deal with any of that. But I will state some of the things that occurred. There was some questioning about the budget. I did find that it was told that it was a requirement by the city secretary that I needed to meet with the city manager. It was a requirement. I asked for that mandate. It wasn't never distinguished. But then, as Dr. Rowland went ahead and discussed, there wasn't really a requirement for any agendas, any requirement for any meetings. So there's a little bit of loss of transparency between what I got from the city secretary and what I got from the city manager. But again, I asked that some things, I have some recommendations on how to fix that too. But the main point is that I did resign for the simple fact of that meeting. And it goes to show that if individuals like me, 43-year-old male, who came back to Kirby, who bought my house on Ben Zingelman in 2011, November, was trying to come back to the city to try to fix things, try to help be part of the community, but met with a lot of resistance. Again, I am retired. My time is precious to me. And the slightest thing, the lack of customer service, lack of professionalism, the lack of approach, it really dawns on me to really question, like, well, I joined September, yeah, that's it, that's it. But the reasons why is because I had a lot of questions to Dr. Rowland about what's required according to the city secretary's emails and what's asked. And I do understand that. I do understand that the city manager wants to make sure that there's a lot of things that roll into place. But approach is everything, especially with me. And it didn't really benefit that the liaison, Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca, idly sat by and allowed the city manager to come at the direction of a retired Army veteran who just wants to devote his time. It was you, Mayor, that actually had to tell your city manager, please calm down. And it was you and I together that had to say, hey, don't interrupt him, let him speak. And if it takes something like that, you and I, to try to talk to somebody of your experience, and you are experienced, I do give you a lot of credit, Dr. Owen, I do. But the only apologies that came from that day was from you and from me. And I feel that it's always good to apologize what transpired in a meeting. And you and I, Mayor, we had that good, proper dialogue. Nobody else in the room did. But to say that the president at the time, currently the president, allowed me to. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next up, we have David Barbosa. Please come up to the podium.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. My name is David Barbosa. I'm going to talk about this town hall meeting that we're having on June the 17th on this certificate of obligation. I'm here to encourage all the residents of Kirby to come out and attend this meeting. There's a lot of questions that haven't been answered. There's been a lot of questions that we still don't know what's going on. For us to allow the mayor and the city manager to handle $15 million without having to come to council, I don't think it's right. That's a lot of money, and we need to understand how this money is going to get paid. This money is not going to be given to us. It's going to come from the taxpayers, obviously. Okay? I don't know the whole process, strictly because it hasn't been explained to me. So I encourage all the residents of Kirby to come out, and if anybody has any questions and cannot come to this meeting, they can give them to me. I'll be more than glad to ask the questions for them, because there's a lot of questions that people have been asking about this money, how we're going to pay for it, how we're going to put ourselves into debt. We can barely make it on a $7 million budget, and we're going to take away from that. What's next? You know, have to vote to raise our taxes? What happens if that doesn't pass? How are we going to pay for it? So all these questions need to be answered. And that's why I encourage people to come out to this town hall meeting. And again, if anybody can't make it, get a hold of me, give me your questions, and I'll be more than glad to ask those questions for you. And I would encourage all the city council members to attend and answer the questions and tell us your feelings about this whole certificate of obligation. Why you intend to vote for it, why you're against it, because we all need to know what's going to happen with this. And I think everybody who's going to make a decision on this should be here to answer questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have number 6, consideration and action on meeting minutes. 6A, regular meeting minutes, May 28, 2026.
Mayor, I make a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes dated May 28, 2026.
Have a motion to accept regular meeting minutes dated May 28, 2026. First by Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca, second by Councilmember McCormick. Please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick? Yes. Councilmember Garza?
Yes.
Councilmember Street?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca? Yes. Mayor Ryder?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Did you recognize Councilman Lozano?
Oh, no, the sheets. I do apologize. Councilmember Lozano?
Yes. Yeah. And please reflect her time. She walked in when Mr. Barbosa was speaking.
It's 7:09. 7:09, okay, thank you.
Moving on to motion passes, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Then moving on to 7, presentation A, AARP tax aid program success. And we have
of the program is about a job program that we had the privilege and honor to work with. And so we can just go out.
I'm sure it's over there with you. Mayor Greiger and members of the city council, thank you very much for the opportunity to take a few moments of your evening and talk about this program. So, AARP Foundation, I work for the foundation, not the enterprise, or we call it the mothership. AARP Foundation has a mission that's very specific. We really focus on a future without senior poverty. We are dedicated to a society that is free of poverty, where each of us will age in a manner that allows us to thrive. And our mission is to strengthen financial resilience, and for and with older adults by empowering individuals to improve and by improving systems. So next slide, please. That's our mission and our goal. I am here for the Senior Community Service Employment Program, or CSEP in short. Our program is a federal workforce training program that serves the 55+ community. We are an income-based program funded by the Department of Labor. This program has been around since 1965. It was a portion of the Older Americans Act of 1965. And we partner with nonprofits and public entities who service host agencies. Our participants are screened and assigned to a host agency based on their skill set and abilities. They provide community service while gaining skills, or developing skills, or redeveloping, or new skills that they are developing, and in that process, while they serve in a community service role. Individuals are not employees of AARP Foundation, nor are they employees of the assigned host agency. They are paid a stipend of $7.25 per hour, which is the state of Texas minimum wage. The program lifetime for our participants is 48 months, and they must continue to seek employment while on this program. So we're like a pass-through type of service that helps individuals that are having trouble entering the workforce through traditional means, which is through an application process. The Community 55+ is one of the most discriminated against communities. If a 30-year-old and a 55-year-old apply for the same job, odds are that 30-year-old's gonna get hired first. They're not gonna see those concerns of age, concerns of loss of memory, concerns of I have to go to the doctor, those type of things. They think a younger individual carries better work ethic, when in fact the community that we work with is superior in their work ethic. So the communities that we serve in this program here in our area are Barricades. They're highlighted in blue because the funding comes from the federal government. The rest of the counties, Bandera, Esposa Comal, Gillespie, Guadalupe, Harns, Kendall, Kerr, Medina, Leal, Uvalde, and Wilson are funded through a state grant. The perfect candidate in this program must be 55 years of age or older, not employed, must reside in the county or the service area, must meet income criteria, which is the 125% of poverty, must be willing to accept assignments and adhere to the program requirements, must actively be seeking employment, has the ability to stand 4 to 5 hours in a day, not consecutively, but able to be mobile. May not lift more than 20 pounds, and must perform the training duties assigned independently. Next slide. This is the income limits for the individuals that would be applying for a household with one. That would be $19,950 a year, which is a pretty low level. And of course, it continues from there for 2 and 3 households of 2 and 3, and it continues from that. Next slide, please. So, host agencies are the organizations, like I mentioned earlier, that accept our participants and utilize them in areas where they cannot fill an employee due to funding, or maybe the job or the duties are limited in scale, and so they're looking for someone to fill those needs. So the Department of Labor allows nonprofit organizations, federal, state, and county municipal entities, school districts, and colleges and universities to service host agencies. If you want to become a host agency, which the city of Kirby already is, but for those who don't know, we look for nonprofits. They must have a copy of the 501c determination letter and tax ID number, address, primary contact information, the signing of what's called the host agency agreement, which you would understand as an MOU. It is a non-binding agreement that just outlines what the host agency promises to do, what we promise to do, and it can be exited at any time. Contact information, a mission statement, and basic safety inspection of the location is what we would have to do. Next slide. Benefits of being a host agency. It's a cost-free workforce expansion, the opportunity to utilize your employee resources more efficiently. No risk. AARP Foundation assumes the cost of CSEP participants' workers' compensation insurance. Grant matching opportunities. The ability to take the services that we provide, the host agency accepts, and turn that into in-kind matches for grants. And then community impact. It's contributing to the economic stability of the older community members by helping them develop and learn skills and experience, and the experience they need to improve their employment prospects. Next slide. I think that's it. So this is our information, how to connect with us. I would like to say that there are 2 participants that we have assigned, one at the Senior Center and one that just recently was relocated to South the Senior Center. I would like to also take the opportunity to say thank you to Dr. Rowland, and also thank you to, there she is, who has really been great to work with in helping us with the individuals that we place at your workings, in your city. And I'm open to answer any questions you may have. If not, I appreciate the time you allowed me.
Thank you. Moving on to 7B.
Council, so y'all understand, the program we've brought on, so it normally at the Senior Center where the volunteers serve with the program with ARP Foundation. What we decided maybe about 7 months ago, 8 months ago, was how could we get a position here at City Hall. Time went by, we didn't have a person to fill that position, and then recently in the last 2 months, Kathy, we found a person who could fill that role. So what we decided, myself and Kathy brought this back to me, was what many residents in Kirby talk about, the calling City Hall, the phone lines and things of that nature. And so what we decided to do was bring on a person to help us do that in that role, taking messages, taking notes, and filing some basic papers, helping in the front. And so we thought that would be a great idea for us to partner with ARP Foundation, but also an opportunity to give job skills to our candidate. Hopefully she won't mind if we get Miss Jody to stand up and wave to you all who works with us here. So again, it was important that we share that. So when we talk about partnership, this is what it looks like in reference to the city being able to get a value add, residents and community members also being able to get a value add. So thank you all. I just wanted you all to be updated on that. The second portion was you have before you a document by AARP, which is another same organization. It says, thank you all for allowing us to use the pool house for our tax year 2025 tax preparation. This year we served over 400 taxpayers. The number far exceeds tax year 2024, which was 279. The effort shows a little extra space, adequate number of tax counselors. It says that average amount of return was $300 for commercial tax preparation. This effort represented about $120,000 in cost avoidance to taxpayers. Not all taxpayers were from the Kirby area, but $300 per return is a powerful incentive to drive some extra miles to get your taxes filed. So your allowance to use the Kirby pool house made a difference. We always have needs of sites and tax counselors. We're a free service provided by mostly retired people who wish to give back to our community. Our use of the Kirby pool provided opportunity while providing service to those in need. ARP tax aid is a non-discriminatory service and is one of the largest providers of tax counseling for the elderly. Our counselors are IRS certified. Free tax preparation is a program sponsored by AARP Foundation. You also have in front of you a sheet that has this, which is the numbers. So if you would like to just want to know what happened, or if you would like to share this on your social media or those, there's 400 residents served for the 2026 season, a 43% increase from prior year. Again, the community, meaning Bear County, estimated community cost savings is $120,000, and there were 69 Kirby residents served with this. And so again, they like to say thank you as well. So.
Thank you. Moving on to 7B, proclamation acknowledging Juneteenth. And after that, proclamation C, acknowledging Pride Month. Our Juneteenth celebration in the city of Kirby the past 3 years, right? About 3 years for True Rhythm Church. So, Brother Mobley, if you'd like to come up. So the proclamation for Juneteenth, whereas on June 19, 1865, more than 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, Union soldiers led by Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and announced the end of the Civil War and the abolition of slavery, thereby freeing the last remaining enslaved African Americans in the United States. And whereas the historic day became known as Juneteenth, has since been commemorated as a day of reflection, celebration, and renewed commitment to justice, equity, and freedom for all. And whereas Juneteenth is a testament to the strength and resilience of African Americans who have made countless contributions to the fabric of our community and to the advancements of civil rights throughout history. And whereas the city of Kirby recognizes the importance of acknowledging our shared history, honoring the legacy of those who came before us, and promoting a spirit of unity, inclusion, and progress. And whereas it is fitting and proper that all citizens of Kirby take time to reflect on the meaning of freedom and the ongoing work required to achieve true equity for all people. Now therefore I, Janisha Grider, Mayor of the City of Kirby, do hereby proclaim June 19, 2026 as Juneteenth in the City of Kirby, and encourage all residents to observe this day with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities that celebrate freedom, recognize the historical significance of Juneteenth, and promote the values of justice, equality, and opportunity for all.
City Council, would you stand? One, two. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next.
Pride Month for June 2026. Whereas the city of Kirby believes in equality, inclusion, and respect for all people, and whereas June is recognized across the United States as Pride Month, celebrating the contributions, history, and achievements of the LGBTQ+ community. And whereas the city of Kirby stands with our LGBTQ+ residents, workers, families, and visitors, and values the diversity that makes our city stronger and more united. And whereas Pride Month is a time to honor those who have fought and continue to fight for equal rights and fair treatment for all, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. And whereas by recognizing Pride Month, the city of Kirby affirms that all people deserve to live free from fear, discrimination, and hate. And whereas our city is committed to building a community where everyone feels safe, welcome, and valued. Now therefore I, Mayor Janisha Ryder, do hereby proclaim June 2026 is Pride Month in the city of Kirby and encourage all residents to show support for our LGBTQ+ community, to learn from one another, and to stand together in a spirit of love, dignity, and unity.
Council? One. Talk about it. Yes. 1, 2.
Moving on to 7B, Severe Storm 2026 update. We have Chief Kirk on it.
Good evening, council. It's happening as usual. I'm here to discuss what we kind of went through and what we had to do through the severe weather event that began on May 26th and officially ended on June 5th. It works. Obviously, the severe weather resulted in property damage. We had obstructions, we had utility impacts, widespread debris. We also had, we'll go into little details here in a second. The EOC was in fact activated on May 26th. Once we began receiving the numerous calls that we did with the damaged property, people not being able to leave their residences, reports of a vehicle being lifted off the ground. So we did activate the EOC. We were in maximum readiness, to what we call it. It's the level 1. Earlier in the day, we were at level 3, which is basically, it's a limited readiness. We're watching. The severe weather has been posted. Hey, there's a warning coming during the day for the afternoon. Our primary objectives at that point, especially with the calls coming in, was life and safety. That was the main #1 goal. Incident stabilization, property protection, and recovery. I'm just going to go through a couple of photos of what we saw. Now, we stayed, myself, Dr. Rowland, the mayor, the fire department, public works came out once the activation occurred. With the concerns not only that some roadways that don't typically, they do flood, but not as severe as they did that night, and also the several trees that were in the roadway that needed to be moved. That was completed all by 3 a.m. We did our initial assessment after the severe part started raining down, and we started seeing trees, the obvious things first, obviously things like this, things that were massive, large. This is a driveway. Some of those limbs were in the driveway, obstructing their way out. But we couldn't get a full picture of what occurred until the following morning. So once we knew that the calls were settling down, that we were already handled the life and safety, we also had 2 calls for a water rescue. One of them confirmed, the other one we could not locate because we looked and there was no vehicle there, thank God. So we were able to complete all these tasks and do a minor, small assessment with what we can see based on the weather at that time. This is another house where the tree broke off towards where they couldn't exit. CPS was called, and we had 2 or 3 different trees that fell on, lines, sparking, catching trees on fire. We were able to call CPS and they came out that night. Immediately, that response was quick. And they started clearing those lines and getting that, or shutting down the lines and rerouting, energy. So, during the day, this is kind of what we started seeing. Trees, and this one's looks like they might have been dead already, and that's why it fell over. However, the water levels obviously went down a little bit. Some of these vehicles, that, especially on board of Cooper and Crest, I think we had 2 of them that were flooded. These are trees that completely uprooted that were not dead. Whatever gust of wind decided to go through there was pretty strong enough to uproot several trees, which is part of our concerns. And the trees hitting the roofs and cars and things like that. This is towards the end. This is a Public Works Fire Department and also the CERT teams and the volunteers that went out, and they were also helping consolidate everything. Just so that it was easy access for Republic Services to come out and start the debris removal for them. That's what it ends up looking like. That tree was on top of the carport, and remember that conversation what we had with him, with the mayor present, that he couldn't afford to do that. He had no insurance, he had nothing. But we were able, the volunteers were able to break that down and put that on the curb. So the timeline was basically on May 26th, we were at readiness, early in the morning at 0800, we were at readiness level 3. By, I would say about 9:56 in the afternoon, at that night, we had EOC activation. We began our assessments that night, but not complete because we couldn't see, so we moved the assessments, obviously, a complete assessment within the next 2 days. And the reason I say that is because everything happened so quickly, and all the stages happened at the same time. We were doing several things and continuing assessments throughout Kirby, even after the 27th. The 28th, we began the recovery operations, which basically means getting consolidating the damage, getting it to the front. By Saturday, 5:30, we had all the teams out, the volunteers came out. We had a big group that went out to assist and get majority of it done. And between Saturday and the 5th, which was Friday, we were able to complete the task, debris removal and all, by that day, by 5 p.m. Now, there were 13 operational periods in total. Obviously, what we discussed already, which managed the response, the assessment, recovery, the debris operations, and of course, documentation, which was important, right? Our goal was to hopefully get reimbursed for some of the costs to assist these citizens who couldn't take care of it themselves, but also make sure they got out of their houses. As of right now, the assessments are complete, the debris consolidation is complete, and the debris removal is complete. The total houses that we found were impacted were 114 in total. These are the top impacted streets: Gordon, Cooper, Wheatland, Swan, Borchers, Allen, Bean, and Fox Cross both had 9 each. But the list went on and on. There was more streets than that, and they just had less houses that were damaged. Now, some of the resources that were deployed, obviously, your own city deployed, our administration, the fire, police, public works. It was all hands on deck. BCOM also assisted with some of the responsibilities of the EOC as it was activated. We had Texas on Mission, Team Rubicon come out, Republic Services. We had CERT volunteers, and True Vision allowed us to utilize their parking lot to have that be the staging area to check in for volunteers and keep track of those numbers. Debris peak up, as of right now in today's date, it is 36.81 tons of debris that was picked up in a total of 3 days, and we were provided a half a day free, which was kind. We utilized a total of 38 employees. The total labor hours with all the employees not including anyone with salary, obviously, but was 1,620 hours. And it was done in such a way, like, if it was an emergency, and this was a disaster in itself, that we would qualify, in other words, the documentation, everything that we did would qualify for FEMA and TDM reimbursement. The financial impact overall, the debris removal cost is going to be, and I'm saying this is approximate, because I have not received the actual yet, but $6,131.04. We did, during our assessment, check our buildings, our city buildings. The fire department, unfortunately, had leaks in the chief's office that was rather massive, so we did have that assessed by contractors, and that was the estimate that was provided. That was and has been sent, as far as I'm concerned, to TML IRP, which is our insurance company. The John Sterling building also received damage. On the outside, it would just look like the gutter, almost like something hit the gutter and it just all collapsed towards one side of the building. But it was actually a little bit more than that. There was stress fractures. Coming from that area, it looks like water might have gotten behind the brick and it started to push off, so it's falling. That was the quote that we were given to fix it. And overall, with all the damages that we assessed on the 114 properties, that was $204,933.30 of damages. That came at no cost to the city because of volunteers assisting. The major accomplishments, no one lost their life. That was a great thing. That was an amazing thing. That could have been a lot worse. Volunteer recovery operations were successful and assessments were completed. That was massive. This was a lot of work. Do we have any questions?
Council, you have this sheet, which is a recap of what she did with Chief Cordovich went over. I want to share something with you all real quick though, because it's important that that moment or that time, that incident wasn't our first incident, but it was the training that not only staff, but training that leadership has been taking that allow communication and transitioning, and also communicating with everyone is when we found out that there were some blind spots we had. Whether it is, hey, are we making sure if we have the ability to translate in Spanish or put some things in Spanish? But there's a cost to everything. So for council members, you all know that for a city to get, so through this process, Office of Emergency Management, Bear County assisted us. The governor did not declare a disaster declaration, which would have made it reimbursable, which means that some of the costs we're working with Bear County to get some reimbursement. It's important that we understand that to get those reimbursements, we need the elected officials here in the community or on council to have certain courses, which means that they understand the emergency management process. That's ICS 100. ICS 100 is the introduction to incident command. So you kind of understanding the system that emergency management is going on. Number 2, ICS 200, basic incident command systems for initial response. ICS 700, introduction to national incident management system. And ICS 800 is national response framework. All those can be taken online, but it is paramount that you all take those courses. We will resend out, because we have new members who come on council, how you can register, getting a FEMA SID number, and then you can take these classes at your leisure. We did have this year one of the first times the city in history of the city where we hosted through TEAX, Texas Engineering Extension Agency, which is the state's connection to FEMA, which does training. So it was our fire department and the police department reached out to TEAX, and TEAX, we had a site here where we had 2 courses. We had ISC 300 and ISC 400,
where we had police, fire, and administrative staff, the mayor, we had city secretary, we had a number of people who were involved in all these activities, so we know when we have an incident that we're all on the same page. And so with those trainings, the better we operate as a team. And so the more training we get, the more experiences we continue to have, the better we will get. And we were able to roll out our notification system, which is what I'll show later on. But just wanted to give y'all an update. We had a lot of, we got a lot of good feedback, good and bad, in reference to the perception of what residents wanted to happen during the storm when we were doing debris removal. What the city did was we wanted to get the community back to where the community was before the storm. So the debris removal, the trash, volunteers, blood, sweat, equity was something that was of a service. It was not mandatory. And so we want to thank all the volunteers who were Kirby residents, all the volunteers who weren't Kirby residents, who came out to support it. And we think that we did a decent job being able to close this out after a week and a half, and return our community back to the way it was before it was effective.
Thank you. And then I think we need to add salvation. We didn't add salvation on the mental side, and thank both of them also for helping out. And since we didn't have that many actual Kirby residents assist, I think that those few that did come out, we need to recognize them publicly. So we can identify them, they can be recognized publicly. Moving on to E, 2025 Kirby Annual Report.
This is on here. It's been on a couple of our reports as we have moved forward. We wanted to just make sure that we documented the actions of the administrative staff, leadership for 2025, 2026. So now we have a benchmark. So 2026, 2027, we now see what we did that year. We can now look at the strategic goals that City Council had adopted to see where we fall based on where we put our money and our priorities. So briefly, won't take a long time. This report will be on as a drop down on our city's website, so you can print it off on your own because it is lengthy in pages. But just briefly, I think on the town hall, I went through this before when we were talking about some of our activities. It has a letter from myself as a city manager trying to talk about the priorities that City Council set and what we did during the 25-26 year just come to accomplish those goals. Again, you all know that year was the year that the city of Kirby turned 70, and so we highlight some of those activities and things that happened that should have been exciting for our community. We have some milestones of Foxcross Drive project completion, Bubble Bath Car Wash grand opening, community workshop for the kickoff of the comprehensive plan, and then an all hands-on staff meeting. We thought that all four of those things were important because they impacted employees, right, culture, they impacted economic development, community development, and then kind of visioning where we want to move. Senior Center had a report of some of the activities that was in here. One of the programs that was launched, myself and Ms. Gomez, Kathy Gomez, a Golden Heart Circle program was a program that was created to build up additional funds for the Senior Center that of activities that they were used to as a nonprofit, but activities that we necessarily didn't want to take on as a city. So to allow them to be able to continue those activities as people have come out of the pocket. So I'm asking all city council members and mayors to become a part of the Golden Heart Circle. And you can do that with a contribution. It's not tax deductible now, but it's a contribution of $50 to the senior center. We receive that money here, it goes into the account for, again, these are for activities that necessarily the city would not pay for, you know, birthday cakes for every month for seniors, but we want to acknowledge them so they have this outside money to be able to do those things. And so if you're not on here, we'd love for you to join the club. We have municipal court. You all know in 2025, we transitioned between our prosecutor and judge. And so you'll see what happened. You'll see where we're at with total cases, dockets closed, and deferred dispensation, and then compliance dismissals. I think it was this body, I want the residents to know, it was this body who allowed us to be able to move forward, and we've been operating for the last year and a half in a positive direction. And all it took was a $2 raise, right? So when you get a certified person, you don't have mistakes, you don't have $500,000 sitting in areas because cases weren't moving. And so when you have a certified person, that's the type of response you get when you have employees who know what they're doing. The police department gave their report on total cases, total calls, and then incidents for the year. You'll see a picture with Mr. Eklund and from formerly of the crime prevention and Chief Cardona. And then you'll see some of their same crime statistics that is in the mandatory reporting crime statistics that the police department puts out annually. You see some statistics for animal control division. And so what we're doing is setting a benchmark, because this hasn't been done. A benchmark, so now every year we can then add on top of those and then look at the resources we're putting and then look at how do we continue to give residents the most service that they need. So you'll see some of the numbers from animal control from 2023 to 2024, 2024 to 2025, and then you'll see 2026 numbers. You'll see the city ordinances, you'll see drug offenses from the police department and compliance. You also see code enforcement officer impact as far as follow-ups, city or ordinance violations, junk vehicles, high grass, warnings, no action, and citations. And so we are now in stride. Myself and Mr. Tigarina have gone to the training. Chief Cardona has put together a code compliance plan that the city is now actively going to be working with residents and businesses to bring them into compliance. And so please be on the lookout. So if you get a notice or Mr. Tigarina comes to your door, please don't be alarmed. But there must, he wants to talk to you about bringing some things in compliance. You'll see the building and development activity report in reference to the amount in sales as far as increases, doubling our permit numbers from just some simple tweaks that we did working with Miss Christine and at the time Chief Cardona as we tried.
Councilmember Street.
I'm looking at the 3-year category growth comparison table for projects. What's commercial accessory? It's the first one on the list.
Accessory building management.
What is it?
It's an accessory building.
Chief Cardona, can you please come up?
Like a shed kind of thing?
No, I guess it's so for 2025, this would be the storage.
Whatever it is seems to be an awful lot because we did 4.45 million in that.
Yeah,
so
we had.
I don't know what that is.
It was a business on Springfield that came in that increased our valuation. We had a commercial building that's on Springfield that opened up.
Okay. Do you know what the name of it? I don't know which one you're talking about.
So that one, so there's new commercial buildings, which is right below, I'm sorry, I'm gonna apologize, there's new commercial buildings below, right?
Which we had 0 in 2025.
Yeah, they're coming, don't worry.
Okay, but I'm I'm looking at the
And
first
for the
line.
accessory, so if there's an existing building for a commercial property or anything like that, even if it's small and they decide I'm gonna expand this to be big or however it is, that's what that is. If it's there's some, even if they have a shed on the property that's a commercial, but they wanna expand on that and make it bigger, then that's considered an accessory.
Renovations, car dealership, all is in that number.
Okay, I just haven't noticed a lot of renovation, that's why I'm asking. Also, your 3-year project snapshot, does that have anything to do with the fact that you jacked up all the permit costs?
No, that has nothing to do with it. I think part of the understanding, when you understand the permit process, when you, let's say you were charging a rate, if you didn't collect that rate, that means you didn't receive money. If every other city is charging a specific rate and you're below that rate, that means you're not maximizing the amount of money you're supposed to be getting. And so, because we operate as a business, we are no higher than any other city around us. And so, we together, you voted to accept,
No, I voted no.
The city council voted as a majority to accept rates that was identified, and some of them happened to be those. So that
Okay,
we
well,
didn't
but
have-
I'm asking you, this is a reflection of the fact that we jacked up and it was a raise.
That's
Okay.
part of it. But no, we actually collected more money because we had people actually now paying what they were supposed to do instead of getting by because they knew somebody. So we now were receiving all of our money that was due, which is part of why around town people was in a tizzy because they now were going to be responsible for the commercial business or residential business. So if someone wanted to put up a fence, that's a resident can't put up a fence without putting in a permit and paying. We had many people doing things like that. We had, if you change a hot water heater, you need to pull a permit for that. So we had a lot of this activity because people was worrying about the wrong thing that didn't allow the permanent staff to actually do their job. But firstly, we didn't have the trained staff to actually be able to do that. So what did we do this year? We sent Miss Christine in, was it December, and Chief Cardona to the ICSC in November to a permit training to help us to be able to work on this. This is something we're not where we want to be, but we're right on track in reference to moving forward to make it easier for residents, commercial businesses to do business with the city of Kirby, and our rates are no higher than others. But if we keep a mentality of thinking that we can give things away, we're never going to be where we're supposed to be.
I'm not thinking of giving things away.
This was
I'm just-
never directed to you.
It was never directed to me, that's right.
So I'd like to clarify. Currently, our rates are lower. There are things that are needed to change in our ordinances to be updated with law, right? So that's what we're working on as well. But you were talking about the 3-year project snapshot, correct? So with the years, as we know, let's say, like we've talked about the well that we need, right? Well, the 3rd well. That cost a certain amount a couple years ago. And then it it's like a 50% crazy increase that occurs today and then next year. That also puts a value to that. So if you look to the left, you have a year. You have the year, obviously 23, 24, 25, and then it says projects. So there's 251 projects that were in total into that section where the value of the work was $4 million. That was in 23. We had in 2025 242 projects where the value was $7 million. That is the value of the cost of the construction. So if that number is increasing, it's because people are renovating, people are remodeling the commercial properties, residential properties, they're getting into compliance with new building codes that you guys have adopted. Those are things, and naturally, construction cost is going to go up. We know that. The average value of those projects out of let's say out of 2025, 242 projects, the average value of each project is $3,000, or almost $31,000. So if you broke that down in average of between 200, math, 242, that's what the average of the remodel was. And then the payment report, let's look on that one. conversation about all of it, and now that I'm seeing it again, it's been a while since. So the payment means, it's not just that our costs increase. We haven't changed a certain portion that changes the permits. So that hasn't changed in these fees just yet. So this hasn't changed at all. It's the same that we've been using for years. But you're gonna see a higher number because there's a lot more going on. Not just a lot more, but the costs have gone up.
We introduced, this body adopted something called contractor registration, for example. Contractor registration was 0, meaning the same requirement that we required to create a folder or file for anyone who's in the trades or any contractor that's doing business in the city of Kirby. Right now, we're doing that and not charging. Most cities have now a contractor registration at $100. Now, you cannot charge there's certain fields like electricians, like plumbers, because anyone who has a license with TDLR, you're not allowed to charge because they pay to the state. But the city of Kirby now has documentation of everyone who is doing things the right way, who's doing work in the city, because they now register a contract registration, which is what this body adopted to bring in, because we have to administer, right? So you have the cost of things, you have the cost of the third party, but where the city of Kirby was coming short on a lot of things, we didn't have an administrative fee. It cost for employees, it cost for pencils, it cost for all the things that we were using to actually do what is called conducting business. So the administrative fee is what we've now implemented on a lot of things, the same administrative fee you pay everywhere else. So we're not doing we weren't doing ourselves a disservice by not charging these things, because this is the reason why we don't have all the money that we need to have in our reserves is because we're not charging for all our services. Project revenue, as you'll see at the next page, average permit value that Chief talked about. We go to the fire department, they listed their alerts, their calls, the rescues, but by volumes, 1,620. They shared the calls for service, and then their hazards. False alarms, 50. Department members at that time was 17. Calls for service is here. Parks and Recreation, as you know, during 2025, we had fireworks in the park, we had Christmas lighting events, we had the pool opening and the back to school event. We have a 5K event as well that took place in the 2025 year. Public Works, we had the brush and bulk collection. As you all know, we had 2,724 water sewer customer services. I know when I was here in 2023, our work orders were being done by paper. One of the things in 2023 that I implemented was now creating a system which is called iWorks, where now those work orders are created and is now in the physical. You can print, report. The staff can go out and take pictures and do real time versus the paper system that we had before. So again, utilities projects, we had some main projects, as you all know, Foxcross and Ackerman was still going on in 2025. And then we did, this body also accepted to do some crack sealing towards the end of the year to maintain some of our streets. At one of the last pages, you'll see city activities for 2025. All these activities where we engage residents, staff, and employees and stakeholders in the community. We're doing similar things this year, and so if you're not volunteering in your community, here's an opportunity for you all to do that. Or if you want to just participate, here's just some of the things that happened in 2025 that we're looking to do in 2026. City activities or town halls for many people who said they didn't hear, didn't understand. We had for 2025, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 town halls, and we have the dates. And so again, for people who maybe didn't participate, didn't know about it, we gave the date and the category to make sure that we're engaged, and we're still doing that in 2026. And so we've actually increased the amount that we've done this year, totaling those. And so it's important that city administration is listening to what residents are saying. So we had a town hall on utilities. We had a town hall on economic development. We had a town hall on budget and another budget. We had a town hall on code enforcement. We had a town hall on parks and recreation. We had a town hall on capital improvement. So for the people who are saying that we're not talking, not communicating, maybe they, I don't know where that is, but part of it is, that's what we have. Now, some people may not want to hear what we're saying, but the goal is for us to engage residents, get their feedback. At every town hall meeting, we've had residents, good or bad, engage with us. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to listen, but we're also here to provide direction. And so we continue to do that because want to hear from more residents.
Does anybody have anything else? Councilman Street, you already took your 5 minutes.
No, they took my 5 minutes.
Did you have anything for this? But I didn't think anybody was going to ask a question. Do you have anything for this?
I'd like to know why we have a town hall and $15 million.
We've had several.
No,
you're not
we
recognized.
didn't.
Councilman Street, you are not recognized to speak.
I'd like to know why we haven't had a town hall and $15 million.
We have. So let me give you the date, council member. I stay prepared. I stay prepared. So it is required by notice.
How come there was no explanation on what we're gonna buy or how we're gonna pay that or anything so important?
So let me ask the first question. We had several town hall meetings that.
Hold on, wait a minute.
It's true.
Pause that. We're not, Councilman Garza, we're not going to do that. We're not going to tell somebody to hurry up.
So are we gonna pause my time?
No, I'm just saying.
Well, then
do
he
want
gets
to
all the
finish
time in the
answering?
world.
So do you want to ask him more questions?
Yeah.
And-
Well, I mean, I just wanna make sure that he's not there fumbling through papers for 3 minutes, so my time goes away.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, because for example, like, what, do you want all your questions to be asked right now? Like, do you want to go ahead and ask all your questions?
I wanna make sure that my time stops when he is
Sure,
talking.
that will not happen. I'm just saying for.
Okay, well then, if it's not gonna happen, then I'm gonna continue to ask questions as he's fumbling through papers because he's not actually
Well, no,
answering them.
you can do that. You can
And
ask
that's
questions.
exactly what I did.
Well, no, you told him to hurry up.
I asked them to hurry up
But-
because my time was running.
Okay, I'm just saying, can we just please?
That's all I'm saying. Listen,
Okay,
there should be no reason
All
why
right,
he gets
so
to fumble through
you go
papers
ahead
for
and-
3 minutes
Time
while
is
my
up now.
time is just rolling. Are you ready to answer, Mr.?
So what was the question? You was talking and saying so much. You were saying so much. We had several town hall meetings.
No,
We had
I was
very
asking her specifically
and I said
about $15 million.
it was in the
Then I-
capital.
Go
You want me to
ahead.
answer?
Go ahead.
It was in the capital improvement meeting. We
Okay.
had 2 of them, where we broke down area by area, where we had all the executive leadership staff sitting up here twice. And before that, the city council voted to move forward, we had those 2 meetings.
Let me ask you this: Did you ever answer the questions on where the money was going to be spent? How we were going to spend the $15 million? Did you ever answer any questions? How we were going to pay it back? Have you answered any of those questions? We're going to wait for 3 minutes? Is this how this works?
No, you want to.
This is on the annual report for 2025, or this is 2026?
I'm asking you right now. Were any of those questions ever answered about that situation?
$15 million is this year.
$15 million is this year. That's correct. The 15 million, the 15
I
million.
mean, we were pushing for $15 million. I mean, the least we could have done was decided.
Okay,
And-
so
how we were
why
going to spend.
are we going off top, like,
I'm
this is
just-
a
I'm trying to ask
2026,
about this.
But that happened this is a 2025 report. That has nothing to do with 2026.
He was the one who mentioned that.
But
He's
we
talking
did.
about the town hall.
All the town hall.
Yes.
Right.
He said it. He didn't have town halls.
They give no response.
2025, we're in
I know,
2026.
usually when the town halls happen or whatever, it's a lot of talking,
Yes,
it's
you
a
should
measure,
have.
but then nobody's
You
ever
should
getting
have.
to really see
You should have came to any of them.
I watched
You should
them,
have
I
came.
watched them, I don't have
So
to.
you can ask your
You
question.
know what, I mean, your expectation, you're getting paid to be there. I'm not getting paid.
Yes, and I'm
Yeah, and you know what?
Okay,
Providing the
wait,
information that's
Garza,
necessary.
that's enough.
Oh, it's point of.
I'm actually about to tell him to be quiet also.
You should.
Everybody, calm down. This is 2025 report. 2025. I mean, this is not even 2026. This is 2025. It's now June disrupting?
What happens if we talk?
That's your first warning, sir. We don't do that here.
Please don't. You'll be interrupting this meeting.
That's a point of order on you too, sir. You will not be disruptive to this meeting. Okay, anything about the 2025 report that you would like to speak on? Councilmember Garza.
I think it's really disruptive of the mayor to kind of get all the time in the world to sit here and throw shade at everybody. And you know what? It's not uncommon, sir, okay, for the mayor to start kicking people out. So just be very weary of it. You do have to sign up for citizens participation, and that's the only time you're allowed to speak, unfortunately. You know, we did try in the past to give people opportunity to speak on agenda items, which would have allowed for a lot of that stuff, but it's all been pushed out and thrown away. And, you know, we've been pointing it out for a lot of time, and it never happened, right? Yeah, so, I don't have anything else to say, thanks.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca, do you have anything on the 2025 annual reports?
No.
Councilmember Lozano, do you have anything on the 2025 annual report?
Yes, ma'am. So, this is 2025, I was kind of confused because we're in June. Why wasn't this presented earlier, maybe like in March, first quarter, or second quarter?
It just didn't, I've had it on several agendas, but I've never got an opportunity to present it. I presented it at a town hall meeting. I said, but I just wanted to make sure we had a benchmark. So the city of Kirby's never had an annual report where we had benchmarks. So what I was trying to do was implement something new that this council could see the work of their effort in the leadership. And so that's why we did this. And we just got around to making sure that we wanted everyone to see it before it goes on the website. So we just getting around to it. So that means for 2026 is going to come out at the beginning of 2027. And so now we'll be on a rotation to be able to now have it submitted or when it's going to come out.
Okay. And then the other question I had was that the mention was made that 2025 town hall meetings was when the information was presented as to how much it was going to cost, the $15 million, and what it was exactly that we were going to purchase with those $15 million. And that is why it was brought up now that, you know, when was it mentioned in those town halls? For instance, okay, we're gonna, you had a town hall, let's say in August 2025. At that time, did you mention, okay, we are going to pay for a fire truck that's gonna cost us $3 million? Like, very specific is what we're asking, because according to what my understanding that you just said is that all that was mentioned in those meetings, and I watched them online, and again, you know, we have that option to watch it online, so during those times, it was not mentioned.
So it was. What y'all are asking for, was there, these are all the projects that's gonna be the certificate of obligation? The answer is no. We didn't know that that's what was gonna happen. In 2025, all of you all knew.
No. So no. Okay.
No, because it's not just a no. No,
yes.
It's not.
So, okay.
If you look at the town hall meetings that were here, they have topics.
Right.
And if it says utilities town hall, we talked about utilities. Now, we took the conversation that we have with residents, the conversation that city council had been knowing about for the last 3 years. So all the things that you knew about that we've had water getting and things that needed to be funded, we didn't get it. It wasn't new. So we took the same thing that you all been knowing about for years, and then the things that came up in the town hall then, and we just moved it forward. So we had a town hall on March 3rd, 2025 about utilities.
Okay, so you did, my question is, it was not mentioned during the town hall?
It was.
The exact amount of money.
We didn't know
that
the
was
exact
given
amount.
you.
We didn't know the
Okay,
exact.
so you did it.
But you
That's
did.
okay, okay.
But you do.
Yeah.
Council members knew what the water well cost, right? And what was the actions of council for the last 3 years?
Okay.
So, because that number didn't change. When council's inability to act over the last 3 years, when it cost 1.2, now it costs 3 million. The same water well that every resident has experienced being out. It's no new project. So I'm not understanding why am I under attack for helping bring a solution as we move forward together. I don't understand that.
So if tonight we're talking about that, right, I think the certificate of obligation as a discussion. Tonight you will have those numbers and what we're gonna be using, like 15 million.
We're not talking about that tonight. It's not on the agenda.
That's not on the agenda?
No. Did you read that?
Yeah, I thought it was on the agenda
No.
for, what was sent to us.
No, it's not on the agenda. That's why I don't understand where these questions come from. The
Okay.
agenda for June 11th, today?
No, it was the other, information that you sent, so that was just informational.
That was,
That was supposed to be information.
no, that was for city council.
The certificate of obligation, information.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, so when that does come up, and then.
Yes,
we'll
I
have
sent it
those
to you, I sent it to you early, so we won't get this. So when we bring in our bond counsel, we brought in our financial advisor already twice. So everyone can't say that they didn't know. So what I'm trying to do is what I provided to you all was information so you all will be in the know.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Councilmember Corbin, do you have anything for this 2025 report?
I do not have any questions for this 2025 report.
Thank you. All right, moving on to F, 2026 TML Small Town Conference.
Council wanted to share with you 2026 TML Small Town Council had you had the mayor and Councilmember McCormick had an opportunity, or all council members had an opportunity to attend the Small Town Conference. I think Mayor Greider and Councilmember McCormick were the two who attended the conference, along with myself. I was in Bastrop. I provided the information that they had there. It was very important because as you get educated on topics of questions that we like to ask, when we go to training through TML, when you have the opportunity to become a certified municipal officer and you get additional continuing education courses, then you start to become more versed in topics. So I want to just share the topics because we get many of these questions from council members who don't go to any training, right? So we had, so I wanted to kind of just share with y'all what you kind of missed. And then as we continue, TML continues to host things, we'll continue to share. I think you have some council members going to a training through TML next week. And so these are the type of things that keeps our community informed, and it keeps the more educated that we all become, the better we are to able to provide services to the residents of this community. There was some conversations about perspectives of transformation leadership, governing with clarity, understanding your role as a city council member, networking. They had a budget. How do you budget? And so, we had some council members who've never been in no training. And then you have council members navigating grant funding for small cities. And so these are some of the opportunities that allows you to become better leaders when we step outside the city of Kirby. That's where we get the most support. So again, I just wanted to put that on here to acknowledge those members who went, but also acknowledge the community that the better trained elected officials we have, the more clarity they're able to govern, because we don't have, then the more knowledge we get, the more better staff is engaged, the better the elected officials are, and that's how the community moves forward. forward. So again, just wanted to put that on there to acknowledge, but also share about the opportunities coming up.
Councilmember McCormick, do you have, all right,
Request. Dr. Roland, if you have reference on to maybe I didn't receive it because I'm new to my emails and stuff at the time, can you please send out the email slides because there's a lot of useful information in those slides from that event. If you have a copy of the slide that was sent out, I think it'll be beneficial to everyone.
thank you. Moving on to 8 updates. 8A, Ackerman Road project.
Again, Council, Ackerman Road, we requested our as-built drawings. We requested all subcontractors to make sure ABR, which is Austin Bridge Road, has submitted all the subcontractors payments as we're closing out this project. Again, there's not much, physical work going on at this moment. As you see, they fixed the dip or depression that was on Ackerman Road. We'll then, if anything else, will be, you will have the warranty for the year, and so that's already started as we, the time clock has started.
All right, moving on to 8B, Kirby mass notification system.
Residents, just want to acknowledge and share with you all another means of communication as we start talking about engaging with residents, everybody who's not on Facebook. We wanted to come up with another emergency notification. We had, where the city hall or administration went to crime prevention. Actually, we did a presentation for city council. We did a presentation for crime prevention district, control district, as far as the emergency notification funding. That body helped support the cost in reference to the emergency notifications. And so now we have our mass notification by Civic Plus. This is on our website. How do you join? Your paper, you have this paper. If you do not have a computer, you can come to City Hall and someone will help enroll you into the program. There are 3 ways you can get enrolled. Well, 2 ways you can get enrolled, 3 ways you get notified. You get notified by phone call, local call. You get notified by text, or you get notified by email, depending upon whatever you select. We have 27 languages where the messages can be dictated or translated to you. You have our QR code, we have it on our chairs. If you haven't done that, please, if you want to get updates. So when we were, when we had the storm incident, we were able to push out notifications using the emails and text messages depending upon what you signed. And then we're able to push it out at one time so we don't have to email this person and email this person. I asked that city council members sign up. We only had 2. And so if the goal is for us to be able to push out notifications so we don't have to, send the emails. Once we send it one, it goes to everybody. So again, this is it can be, you can sign up whether you want to be informed about community projects, community program, city council meetings, or if you just want emergency notifications, you can text this number and you can sign up only for that. If you want only emergency notifications, you can text Kirby, Texas to 38276 if you only want emergency notifications. And we wanted to make sure that we wrote in our rollout program that we're going to the city council, different committees to share with residents another opportunity for them to stay involved in the community for those people who are not on Facebook. Any questions?
Councilmember Lozano?
Are you using any other forms of communication to get residents signed up, like on the water bill or utilizing the marquee at the police department?
We've put it on the water bill. We've we've had our whole rollout plan, but yes, we've done those things.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next is a C 2026 pool pass family pack. Gomez.
Ms. Lopez.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am here to discuss a new incentive to get folks out to our pool at the John Sterling building, which is pool season pass. In trying to come up with something economical for our residents, and also balancing out, bringing a little bit of revenue into the city for the pool, so that way we can add some additional amenities as the years go by. Season pass seems to be the overwhelming, after doing some research, was the overwhelming response as far as what to do as far as to meet both ends. So for the 2026 season, we now have a individual pass. I don't know,
They have just the pool sheet. They have the cost, they have the one with the cost.
this is just an example of passes. These are actually, they're cut out 3x2s.
This is what the pool pass looks like, actually, if you just want to see, you can pass it down, it's replica, the prices are on the blue sheet.
Each pass, so the season pass for the individual is $30, and that's for the entire pool season, which ends on Labor Day. And then for the family pack, you can have up to 4 on your family pack, and that's $60. And that's again for the whole season. The good thing is, I put some informational packets up at the pool, but when I was doing that, I was talking to the pool staff, the lifeguards there, and was kind of curious if they had sold any, and they indicated, we've already sold 4 season passes, and I don't know if they're having like an internal incentive or contest for trying to sell it, but they're doing a pretty good job considering we're only 1 week in. These utility clerks, water clerks have been trained on the process. There's 2 locations where you can purchase the passes, which is going to be John Sterling Building, which of course is closed Monday, Tuesday, so those days they can come over to City Hall and purchase it during business hours. They've been well versed on the sell it, they can sell the pass, and they're also tracking it. And as far as the pool staff is concerned, what they're going to be doing is they're filling out a manual form to keep it easy because we have no computers over there or anything like that. So they're going to fill out the form, and then with their daily deposits over to the city, they'll be turning in those forms, and then our utility clerks will be tracking the information for the pool pass.
Yeah, Council, Mayor, we just wanted to put this on the agenda, since we didn't have opening day at the pool. We wanted residents to know that it's still $2 to come into the pool for an individual visit. This body adopted the rate to keep the single day pool pass the same at $2, but to incorporate the pool passes, which is for $40.
Councilmember Garza?
I just have a question. Are these pool passes primarily, like, are they only for residents, or can anybody purchase one of these pool passes?
Anybody?
Okay.
Councilmember Lozano?
And are you gonna get like cards or something to show?
So
like
each,
when you go to season pass at Fiesta, Texas, you get a card or something?
Yeah, not quite as nice. We don't have the picture or anything, but they're gonna get like the actual like a 3x2.5 card laminated. They're all laminated, and we actually purchased some lanyards to give away for the first 100 purchases.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to 9, items for individual consideration. 9A, discussion to accept Kirby zoning guideline report.
And Mayor, this is just for discussion.
Council, this body
a directive for us, the staff, to move forward with our planners. We worked with the Planning and Zoning Commission. This has been presented to them twice. And so we had, on this Tuesday, we had our planner come in and work with them. The planner will be here on June 25th when we are asking this body to accept the report. The reason why it's on this agenda is because I don't want anyone to say that they didn't know about it or didn't get the information. So it is here for you all because it's important. This sets the direction that will then be incorporated into our comprehensive plan. But at the end, we'll also figure out if we're going to do option 1 or option 2, which is, are we going to fix the issues that we need to come into compliance with state law, or are we going to just rewrite our whole ordinances? There are two main hiccups. One, a use chart has been the conversation that's been coming out of planning and zoning. The use chart is like, what setbacks per residential, per commercial, lot sizes. Right now, the issue on this commercial are C1 and C2 are similar. There's no differentiation between the two, which means I could have a daycare, a coffee shop, and then a storage facility, which could be a car lot. Like, based on our standards, car lots meet the definition of a storage facility. And so one of the issues is that because we don't have, because we have our parameters are so open, you'll see when you're coming down Old Seguin, you'll see a couple of storage facilities next to, some businesses, right? And then you have, so this will allow us to reset our ordinances to say, hey, we want what some people may be say C1, C2, C3, which then talks about lot sizes and the ability to be able to what you want on it. So, for example, like a general commercial, the minimum front yard would be 10 and 10. It'd be smaller than your residential because your commercial, right now our parking lot size, for parking, we require more parking than most areas in reference to businesses. And so if we're going to get more businesses, we want to look at reducing that number, which increases density. So let's say we have someone who has 20 acres, 10 acres, or whatever, and they want to build some apartments because of the density areas. That's just an example. I know the imagination's not there, but just general commercial. I won't even say that. So there's CC, which is commercial. There's general commercial, there's neighborhood commercial, there's manufactured homes. In our ordinances, we do not speak to all the required zoning per state ordinance. So those are going to be some of the things, once you read the report, you'll know what I'm talking about. So again, no real discussion we wanted today. We just wanted to present you with the report, and you all can then review that for next city council.
Councilmember Street?
Okay, this is planning and zoning. Aren't they supposed to be the ones that are doing the updates on the zoning and then sending it to us? Is that not the point? And please don't go on and on, because I have more than one question. That's a yes or no question. Is planning and zoning supposed to clean this up and then send it to us?
No. Do they receive?
It's my 5 minutes, I can say what I want.
Do you want the answer?
I was a yes or no question, you said
It's
no.
not a yes or no. If you understand the process, the city has planning and zoning for a reason. Planning and zoning we have presented to them, they have moved forward this process, which I just said, they had this on Tuesday and it has been presented to them twice. It is now coming to city council to adopt and accept, because city council was the one.
Okay, no, you can stop now. I got what you're saying. But they have not made the changes. What you gave us was the report from the attorney's office, I believe, that has the planner. We don't have any of the changes, only the recommendations for changes. None of the changes have been made yet. We don't have that document. That's what I'm talking about. Planning and zoning should be making the changes, and if it's that hard to make a chart with the specific, lot sizes and setbacks and all of that, then I'll be willing to help them. It's not that difficult to make a chart and be specific. But also, there's no mixed use mentioned on here. And we need a mixed use section.
Yes.
Absolutely do.
Yes, we do. So if you read the report.
I'm not done.
If you read the report.
I'm not done. I have not read it word for word. I have read, I beg your pardon, I spent 2 hours reading it.
So then why?
So don't give me that
Why are you aggressive?
crap. I'm talking, and this is my time. I get to say what I need to say before you start gaslighting everybody else. It's been 25 years since this list was amended.
I know.
And there's no mixed use. That would facilitate the inclusion of more businesses, particularly on Ackerman. This is just the first specific example given in this report where it says, if a chart is not created, the city should review and amend the list of uses across all districts to ensure compliance with state law. Certain uses such as CBD stores, pawn shops, and sexually oriented businesses must be allowed in at least one district. Updating the code to reflect this requirement will help avoid legal conflicts and ensure clarity for developers and staff. This is what the report has in it. There have been no changes proposed yet. So that's my point.
Are you
Planning and zoning, I'm reading you what was in the report. Planning and zoning has not produced an updated set of zoning things that were recommended by this report that we paid for. That's what I'm asking. When are we going to get planning and zoning's updated zoning requirements that will now comply with state requirements? Because I know there are several things in there that were pointed out that don't follow state guidelines. So if they just met on Tuesday and I saw them on the calendar, I did not watch the meeting yet, when are they going to be making the adjustments? Because if we're going to bring this back next time and vote on it, we don't have anything to vote on yet. Planning and zoning hasn't done their due diligence to adjust it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a yes or no question.
You have all the answers.
I asked a question.
So, okay, I'm gonna
It's
answer
a
the
yes
question.
or no question.
You
Do
want
you
to, it's not a
understand?
yes or no.
Dr. Rowland.
Do you understand what I'm asking?
Finish, and then you can then answer all her questions.
Do you, you're talking on my time too. Do you understand what I'm asking? That's a simple question.
Thank you. Councilmember Street.
Ma'am.
I'm trying to help you out. So I said, and then, so go ahead, it's pause. So I give you 5 seconds to get that 5 seconds back while I was trying to hold him up. So, okay, go ahead.
Do you understand what I'm asking for? Mr. City Manager, since you're going to the planning and zoning meetings, do you understand what I'm asking, or are you just gonna stand there and make a face? That nobody can see because they don't have a camera
You
on.
have to decide if you want him to, okay, we're not.
I asked the question.
But this
This
is
is discussion
exactly
time.
what I was talking about. Pause the thing. This is exactly what I was telling you.
This
about.
is discussion time, I'm
You know what
asking
you
a
said in the
question.
back? This is what's gonna cost us money. This right here.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
If you want him to answer or you don't want him to answer.
He's not answering.
But every time he's trying to answer, you don't want him to say nothing.
I don't need a paragraph, I need a yes or a no.
Everything is not a yes or a no. We have a lot of discussions about this, so everything's not a yes or a
We
no.
haven't had a lot of discussions. I don't know who the we you're talking about is,
You
unless
just
you got a
got
mouse in your pocket.
What?
I don't have any clue as to where this stuff came from.
You've been elected for about almost, what, a year?
And I have not gotten this information until Friday.
Ma'am, we're not gonna do
No,
that.
no.
We're
You
not.
cannot
Okay.
gaslight the whole
Go
city
ahead.
by saying we got this information
Start the
before.
time and then
We
we're
did
gonna-
not get this information
Go ahead, start the
before.
time.
And there's no reason why he can't answer the question, except that he doesn't want to, which is his forte. I have emailed him several times for many different things. I get no response, not even a received anymore. No response at all. This is not transparency, this is not accountability. I don't even know who's showing up.
Mr. Jones.
Council, or Mayor, do you want me to share?
Yes, please answer your question.
Just answer.
So in this process that city council adopted, this has been on the city council agenda over the last 14 months, 2 or 3 times. Same thing when this body adopted the site plan ordinance. All of this has been in a task that we've been going through step by step, city council and planning and zoning. It's no simple yes or no. This report is a diagnostic. So if you read the report, the diagnostic identifies all the city ordinances along with what the state has to show if we were in compliance. The diagnostic, just like your car diagnostic, tells you what's wrong. Not all the other things that is being asked. This body will accept the diagnostic, and if you spend more time reading it, in the back, it gives you options that this body needs to then give me and the staff directives. It says it. Option 1, to come into compliance with all the state matters that we are out of compliance. Number 2, go through a process where we update all our ordinances from the beginning up to 2025. That is in the diagnostic. So I'm not understanding animosity towards me. I'm not understanding the misunderstanding. But it also shows we've had planning and zoning go to training that was provided by ACOG. We've had the attorney come in and give training to planning and zoning. We've had our planner come in and get training. And so if you don't know something, come to the training instead of acting like you know everything. The diagnostic, it only is to acknowledge where we're at. I will say it again. A diagnostic, just like your car. You have now a report where it tells you all the things that we're out of alignment. And we have 2 to 3 options in the back. And under each thing, it gives us what we need to do. It's now coming back before you all to accept it on June 25th. And then give some direction, because it's going to cost money, in what we want to do. That is the power of city council in this body. Once you all do that, it'll then be worked through planning and zoning, but you all are responsible for making the decision.
Councilmember Garza.
I have a question. I really would like to know how many people received this prior to us getting it on Friday. Because the way it sounds is that we've had access to all this stuff, and the way that the city manager keeps placing it is that that it's already out there, and it's been out there. But the thing is literally like this is the first time I looked at it. The first time I've seen it. I haven't heard about it. I don't know if any of the other council members have gotten it. I mean, maybe they got it. Maybe the attorney can answer some of these questions, because it says it was presented by you guys anyway. So was this given to anybody else on council and very specific people, not everyone?
This is not something I've been directly involved with. This is something that Planner Padilla has been doing.
Okay, and I mean, if we don't have any information on who's received it, who has it?
I do not personally.
I haven't. Who would you like to hear?
Okay, tell me.
So the city council, at least 10 months ago, the planning and zoning has been working on this over a year. So when the city council directed the firm to do the diagnostic, it is now coming back 8 months later. Planning and zoning has had that presentation twice. It is coming to city council for the first time as a discussion. And then it will be on the agenda, like we said before, June 25th, when the planner will also be here. So no one's had it before, no one's hiding anything. Planning and zoning has had 2 presentations.
I mean, you guys are getting pretty big for no one's had anything. You know what I mean? It's like, you're like this. Like, no one's had anything. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't seem as though no one's had anything. It seems like Others have received it, some haven't. That may be the reason why this street's having trouble asking any questions in there.
Members on planning and zoning has had this report twice. So if you came to any other activities, you would know that that has been presented. So if you watch it on Facebook, right, you would know that. But I'm saying, no city council member, because this is the first
Did they discuss
time.
it already? I mean, so they made their changes then, because the one that I have here is strictly from, it says prepared by Dent Navarro, Rodriguez Bernal, Sati, and Zach. And, you know, that's all. It doesn't say this is presented to us from planning and zoning.
It's not.
So planning and zoning has had, they've seen all this, but they have not made any changes and brought it to us as what should happen. Is that what you're saying?
So again, I'm telling you what the process. Because you may not understand the process, you're trying to make something the way you want to hear it. So right now, the process, the planning and zoning does not vote on this. City council votes on this, but we have worked hand in hand with planning and zoning for the last week. The staff and planning and zoning for the last year.
Okay,
Yes.
which staff?
Myself and Christine and the planner that the city is paying, because the city council is the one that made a motion to approve Dent Navarro to do this.
I get you. Okay, so the way it works out, you know, from the process that I'm aware of, that has been, the way it's supposed to work out is this stuff's supposed to go to planning and zoning. Planning and zoning is supposed to make their changes for it, and then they're supposed to bring it back to us to make decisions on it. Okay?
Well, the way
and the
you
thing is if you guys are the planners and Christine and you are the only ones looking into making any changes on here, that really bypasses all of planning and zoning because they haven't made any changes. And now you're going to bring it up to a vote in our next meeting, right? And without any changes made by planning and zoning, that's the part that I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, if you were not trying to be so defensive, you would hear exactly what I'm saying. That's very simple. The way you're understanding the process is flawed from the beginning. So let me explain the process again so we're on the same page, because I think this is important. Planning and zoning is not required to adopt this. Planning and zoning is a part of this process, and we have been working with them.
And they're
They
supposed to
have
make changes, right?
Huh?
They're supposed to make changes.
No, they're not supposed to make any
So
change.
what is the other process in this? What do they actually have to do? Just look at it?
It is a diagnostic report. So like when you
Point of order.
when you
The city,
go,
point of order. The mayor's over here talking to the attorney, pointing at me and Councilman
I'm going
Navarro.
like this because what I'm saying is I want to get the attorney, the planner.
What y'all are not
I'm
understanding
trying to get them to call.
is the planner, Planner Padilla, Amanda
So
Padilla.
is that,
She will be
I'm trying to
here.
figure out what you're doing and you're not sitting in your
Listen,
seat.
I'm trying, hold on,
She-
Dan, no, wait.
This is
What
a
am I
point of order.
doing? Point of order, I'm just explaining what I'm doing. I actually asking him, is Dan, Clarissa, or Amanda available to call in so they can explain to them the process? Because I don't want the misinformation to go out there. So I'm trying to get the people who actually do this,
And
their
Mayor, what
scope.
I'm trying to tell them is,
That's what I was trying
it's
to do.
very simple. Tonight, we're discussing it, there's no vote, and then 2 weeks from tonight, Amanda will be here, she will explain, and you will choose one way or the other, and then they will go back and they will actually create the new ordinances or whatever you want to do.
How is it you can do that in 20 seconds and he's spending 3 minutes?
I said the same thing. You just got
But, okay, you understand, Councilwoman Street.
I'm gaslighting, I get it.
You're very, very intelligent. Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
I just want to, hold on,
you know-
before we keep going on this point of order, I just want to make sure that we know that during the middle, because this is a precedent, during the middle of a discussion, when one of us is making a discussion, any one of us obviously has this opportunity to go speak to the attorney, sit by and have a side conversation so that we can make decisions on
Yeah,
something.
I like that idea.
What we're doing here is I'm trying to let you know, nothing's being done tonight. But come 2 weeks from now, Amanda will be here, she will explain it, and you as a council will vote one way or another, which way you want to go with it, okay? Then the work will be done. You're not agreeing to do anything tonight.
Thank you.
Okay?
All right, thanks. I'm good. My time is due.
Does anybody else have anything? Because you were provided planning and zoning, and Councilmember McCormick, as a prior member of planning and zoning, field trips. And we was all out to do homework, go to different cities, look at what they're doing, to get examples, to come back, to give recommendations for our city, and also ask for citizen input to try to capitalize our different coding and zones and things along those lines. We took that information, and just like any other board, it's in discussion. We talk, we try to come to an agreement what's best for the city, and what we would like to see the city look like in the future. So it's a process, and it's not a yes or no answer. And the Planning and Zoning Committee has been working to make the best decision in the best interest of the way that Kirby is going moving forward. So therefore, I would say that as a former member of Planning and Zoning. Of course, all the information that we do, the homework assignments that we have, is then consolidated and put before this council. So that's where we are. It's just for discussion. This isn't a vote. This is to let you know where we have been advised when I was on Planning and Zoning, you know, where we are. Like, they gave us recommendations, and right now we should be trying to fine tune the C1s and C2s and things along those lines. So nothing is final right now. We're working in progress. I would like to add a side note, to kind of piggyback on Dr. Street. Do you know, I guess, where you are in the process? I know Councilmember Molina sometimes attends those meetings, but she's not here today to speak. But he usually attend those meetings and give us like an update as to where the Planning and Zoning is. Since I'm not there on that panel, I wasn't there for the last meeting or any chance to watch our lives. I would like to know, if possible, where they are in their process of, I guess, working on the definitions and the things that's outlined in this packet. I did read through it. The only thing that I would like to add, that even as a Planning and Zoning former member, I failed to acknowledge or bring up in topic, but it's a popular talking point right now, is maybe add some type of language for data centers. I don't know if that's something that's going to fall into Planning and Zoning, but I know around Texas and everyone else, these data centers, cooling centers are just popular right now. We need to go ahead and, while we're working on this Planning and Zoning, add that into the language, because that is something that I have not seen. And that's all I have. Councilmember Lozano.
Yes, and this is just for my clarification with everything that went on, just to make it make sense for me. So, for instance, on this report, there's setback requirements, and, you know, it talks about, you know, implementing the change would require a text amendment, blah, blah, blah. So then, this will come back to us June 25th, after we read it, and we say, okay, we're gonna go with option 1. And then that goes back to Planning and Zoning for them to start looking at these, like the setback, and start making recommendations on the setbacks and how they're gonna do them.
No.
No.
Once you all, on June 25th, accept the report for the money we've paid for this review, we will then need to make a decision based on the options that's provided in the report, what direction we want to go and how much money we want to spend to actually do the work. The work is going to be done by the planner and staff, and then brought back to Planning and Zoning and brought back to City Council for them to say left, right, or in the middle.
Okay.
But we are using the professionals to look up the law and to give us where we're trying to go to bring our ordinances into compliance.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody have anything else?
This is just discussion.
Well, I just want to make
Nothing,
sure
nothing,
everybody has,
nothing else.
Nobody, there's no tenure the last person, anything. Okay, so we're gonna bring this back.
2 weeks from now, and Amanda will be
Yes,
here.
this has
Just-
been discussed,
yeah,
so I
she's
just
gonna
want to
be
make
here.
sure it's clear for everyone that this, some may not have been up here because you may not have been elected. So maybe you might not have known about the report, so, but if you follow like the Planning and Zoning meetings, if you follow pretty much a lot of the City Council meetings, we've discussed this, and we've talked about kitting it up today with like the law and all of that. So, it actually was a lengthy discussion about all of this.
discuss this or decide? Will we know how much it costs to do option one versus option two?
Yeah, versus a complete overhaul versus
Yes.
tiny, yes, I'm sure there will be. I'll let them
Because
know
if there
that.
isn't, we can't really make that decision, can we?
I'll let them know.
Thank you.
The action item on June 25th will be to accept the diagnostic report. That has nothing to do with actually resolving the issues, which would be additional item. To accept the report, you're gonna give direction. Hey, we wanna get a quote on option A, we want a quote on option B. Those are two separate motions or opportunities, but the first opportunity for June 25th is to accept the diagnostic report that we paid for.
Thank you. Moving on to 9D, discussion and possible action appointing an elected official to Animal Advisory Board meeting. Anybody wants to appoint anybody?
Mayor, make a motion to appoint Susan Street to the Animal Advisory Board.
Second. Have a motion to appoint Susan Street, Councilmember Street to the advisory board. First by Councilmember Garza, second by Councilmember Lozano. Please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick? Yes. Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Garza?
Yes.
Councilmember Street?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Apadaka?
Yes.
Mayor Greider?
No.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And Chief Cardona, can you make sure she gets the dates for the next meetings? I know they don't have them every month, but.
Yes, ma'am.
9C, discussion and possible action to approve the True Vision fireworks display on June 19th, 2026 in the city of Kirby.
Council, you have in your packets, Chief Cardona. So in your packet, you have their application, you have all the information, they've submitted their permits, they've paid their permits. We also have representative from True Vision here tonight. Our police department and fire department has both looked over the applications, and we're asking for approval.
Councilmember Garza.
Mayor, make a motion that we approve True Vision firework display on June 19, 2026 in the city of Kirby.
Second.
Have a motion to approve the True Vision fireworks display on June 19th, 2026 in the city of Kirby. First by Councilmember Garza, second by Councilmember Street. Please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick?
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Garza?
Yes.
Councilmember Street?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Apadaka?
Yes.
Mayor Greider?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to 9C, discussion regarding ordinance 30.07, city council members to core and debate concerning the 5-minute speaking time allotted to council members when addressing city business. This is on the agenda for Councilmember Street. You want to start?
Well, I'm glad that the additional information includes that, we can amend the question or we can speak later in our 5 minutes. We can use it to rebut other people who have other questions or comments. It doesn't say that once you've spoken, you have to give up the rest of your time when you're done. Is that understood, Madam Mayor? That's what that
I'll
means?
just give you your 5 minutes.
I'm asking if you understand that. This is a discussion part.
No, I'm not.
Because you're running the meeting, I want to make sure you understand that's what that says.
So you can ask, I'm the chair, so 5 minutes is sufficient. That's a sufficient time when you get do you want me to answer? I don't want to mess up your time, so you have.
I'm asking if you understand that we can stop and start our time.
That's not a yes or no, so.
Okay, it says, council addressing city business, the member shall speak more than 5 minutes on any question or amendment to the question except as further provided in this rule. No member shall speak more than the time limits provided on any subject or amendment, but such member may use such member's time in any combination in separate speech or comments totaling the number of minutes permitted. Any member deciding to speak more than 5 minutes on any question or more than 5 minutes on any amendment to the question shall be accorded the privilege only upon motion supported by a vote of at least 4 members of the council. Which means, yes, we should be able to stop and start our 5 minutes. I can say my 3 minutes and 21 seconds until everyone else has spoken, and then I can come back and use 3 minutes and 21 seconds to either answer their questions or ask other questions. Now, this should not mean that if we ask a question of our fine best man for the job city manager, that he uses up my whole 3 minutes in his dawdling or finding his piece of paper, which he never seems to have in his hand. I don't know, that should not take my time away. That once I've stopped speaking, that should stop, and he can have whatever time he needs to get his stuff together, and then answer the question, then I should be able to go back and complete my question. It should not take my time away waiting on him, or for his dancing around the barn before he doesn't answer the question. So that's what I'm reading here, that we can start and stop our time. I just want to make sure that you understand that too, so that when you say you're giving up your time, I'm not giving it up. It will be a rare occasion when I want to do that. I'll probably be on the verge of dying before that happens. So we may use it in any combination, in separate speech or comments, totaling the number of minutes permitted. And I still have 1 minute and 50 seconds. Thank you.
Okay, are you finished?
For the moment.
Okay.
I have 1 minute and 50 seconds.
No, ma'am.
I do have 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Attorney Dan Jones, can you please weigh in on that? We
Well,
had a discussion before.
Mayor, you are the chair, and the problem is that if the mayor doesn't recognize you to let you have your remaining 1 minute and 50 seconds, then you're not gonna be able to use your remaining
But
minute and 50 seconds.
she can't make that time go away, is my point. Yeah, if she wants to be that way, then we can call that out. But
Right,
she
but-
can't make that time disappear. I should still be allowed to use it.
Not if she doesn't recognize you.
I understand that part.
But
I,
you're saying you still theoretically have the time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct, but she's still the chair, presiding officer, and she has a right to recognize you or not recognize you.
okay. And if that's the way she wants to be, I can't wait for her reelection, when she won't call on council members who need to talk about city business. Thank you.
You're finished.
Yes.
Okay. Councilmember Martha?
I'd like to ask the attorney, it seems that you had big discussions with the mayor about figuring out a way to prevent people from speaking for an amount of time. So, did you come up with the whole where she doesn't recognize you kind of thing, or was that something that the mayor came up with?
Not me.
It wasn't you.
I'm the one that sent the council addressing city business, actually sent it to Christine to include, so I mean, but she's the chair, she has a right to do what she wants to do or not.
And I mean, and that's something you reported her, it's obviously, it's not something it's something that's going against this ordinance.
No.
I mean, there's
no.
nothing here that says that she has the right to prevent our remaining minutes.
No, but she does though, if you go on down, and of course it's not on here, but she has duties of the presiding officer. One of the things that she has to do though is to make sure that everything runs smoothly, make sure it pursues, that it goes forward and it's not bogged down.
So by preventing time, the 5 minutes that we already have been cut down to, is something that's allowing that whole idea of not bogging down the meeting?
The charter allows only 5 minutes, period. You're guaranteed 5 minutes, period. Now, the mayor may or may not recognize you if you have 1 minute, 50 seconds left.
Is that part of the charter?
I would have to
Are you
look a little
laughing at me,
closer.
Mr. Rowland?
I would have to look a little bit closer, Councilman Gardner.
Yeah, okay.
I would have to look a little bit closer.
Okay,
Do you
so
want me to respond?
I would like to have the thing that goes here that says also that I would ask them when responses are happening that the time gets paused. As some keep talking, and it seems to prevent full questions from happening. particularly when the city manager goes up there to like make discussion, and all he wants to do is just go on and on and on. I mean, this whole meeting has been, hold on a minute, I'm not speaking to you at the moment. This whole meeting is actually, there you go laughing at me again, all right. So this whole meeting has actually gone on and on. Literally, the city manager, if we had timed it, has talked 90% of the time today, and it's just gone on and on and on about just nothing, it seems. And it's really frustrating. I mean, even when we look at these city manager updates, it's like 9 minutes of just junk for him to like show off his accolades and say, oh, look at all this great stuff that I've done. So it's just, it's really becoming just overly. And all I'm saying is that when we have the opportunity, we'll give 5 minutes to speak, okay? And when we have that opportunity, if we are going to prevent those remaining minutes, all you're going to get is more people like me just saying what's going on and how these things are happening, right? Because, I mean, there's the only way to stop the discussion as it's going on, since you're not going to give me an opportunity to rebuttal, is to say everything that I can try to say during this 5 minutes.
But,
So,
Councilman Garza?
yes.
You have a Charter Review Commission that is about to meet in a week and a half, 2 weeks. They can change this.
Because it's in the charter that states what piece? That we have the 5 minutes, because it, you know.
I mean, yeah, you can change it to 7 minutes, and they can do it.
But my point is that the part that's in the charter that we're discussing at the moment? Because the main discussion here is how this states that, but such member may use such member's time in any combination, and you're basically giving out the mayor full discretion as to take away all that time.
She's still the chair.
And what does it say exactly about how the chair gets to utilize the time?
So the chair, if you go on down, duties of the presiding officer,
Okay.
30.08, she talks about all meetings, it's responsibility of the presiding officer to use the rules of procedure appropriately.
Appropriate. So hold
on.
on. So the idea here of taking away my remaining minutes is what's appropriate. Mr. Rowland, can we please stop laughing? I'm really having a major issue with you laughing over here. He's over there laughing. I'm trying to discuss something with the attorney, and he is just there laughing. I don't quite understand what the whole funny part of this situation is. What's the point?
What is? You two have side conversations and chuckle and all this other stuff over there. There's nothing. We have to be professionals here. There is plenty of distractions that happen, and they happen. There's plenty of times where somebody in the audience has done something. I mean, I think one time we saw somebody fall off the chair. We didn't like, oh, you know, like, things happen. So, I mean, we've had people up here bang on the dais, remember? We've had all types of things. So I'm just saying, like, everybody just calm down. You're having your time to speak. If you want him to finish, go ahead and finish, or vice versa, whatever's happening here. You go ahead and have your 5 minutes, about 5 minutes. Give him, just wait 5 seconds and then start it, so he can.
Can you please keep going?
So 30.08, duties of presiding officer. And if you go through it, at number 8, it is ensuring that city business is handled expeditiously during council meetings. And I mean, she's ultimately the chair. She has a right to conduct.
Where does it say that in the chart, please?
Well, you would have to go to Robert's rules and look at that.
So it doesn't say in the chart, which you said.
That's what I was telling you. I would have to look and see.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Amador, do you have anything?
So if the charter says 5 minutes, I don't see why we can't follow that. That is the charter. And also, the time wasted in raising your voices and the insults and the snickers, I mean, that's just taken away from your time. So if you would just speak normally without yelling, you wouldn't be wasting your time. Thank you.
Councilman Lozano?
So, yes, our charter does say it's 5 minutes. And if we just use tonight's example of that 5-minute rule, council members in their effort to try to get their questions in, and the manager responding back, it becomes a whole argument, because one's trying to get in their questions before their time is up, and they don't want their time to be used up while the city manager discusses. And so, for good governance, I believe if we do 5 minutes, we're given 5 minutes, we ask the question, and it's answered, and we still have time, that it should be okay for us to hold on to those minutes, to come back and discuss whatever, if we disagree or whatnot, a rebuttal, that we should be able to do that in order for this meeting to flow more professionally. So this is how other cities do it. And when it comes down to having the answers, if we were to have these questions answered prior to the meeting from our city manager, any questions that we had regarding any agenda item, then we wouldn't have to go through all these questions wanting to be answered at the time of the meeting. We could just maybe just be by consensus say yes, okay, or maybe we just have one more question and that is it. And so I agree, the 5-minute speaking time should be allotted. We should also be able to hold off or save our minutes to come back for a rebuttal. And the other thing is, things have gotten out of order, and Councilmember Garza was correct in that our city manager was laughing. And so it goes both ways. We all need to be professional. We all need to speak in a calm, professional way. And then we also need to be respectful and professional as well, regardless of what comes our way. Because again, everybody's watching and they're seeing us, and we're gonna continue doing this. It's not good for our city. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Councilor McCormick?
Okay, my thought on this process went back and forth because as I look at it from a numbers perspective. 5 minutes is no difference than 3 minutes and then followed with 2 minutes, right? It's still 5 minutes. However, as I was conducting my due diligence before tonight's meeting and asking questions about my concerns in advance and speaking with resources within Kirby and outside of Kirby, I was asked by people, why is it even 5 minutes? It could be 3 minutes if you're prepared. So therefore, 5 minutes is a long time for any follow-up questions if one have prepared for the meeting in advance. Having said so, as a city council member, I have come in numerous times before meetings and asked those detailed questions and received answers. And I know some may feel as if they do not have the same grace, but the grace is there. It's all in presentation and delivery. We cannot attack one another. You catch more flies with honey, okay? Also, I very seldom give my opinion. I'm trying not to give my opinion. However, we cannot attack one person without reflecting at one's own behavior. So I will leave it at that, and I try not to give my opinion because I'm here for the city of Kirby and not to give my opinion. I want to put that out there. So therefore, back to the 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes is very generous to give your information that you would like to share if you've done your homework. Also, just to recap, the mayor is the chair of this panel, this board, and it is up to her discretion to maintain order. So we have to oblige by her rule in this meeting. We're a council member, she is the mayor as of right now, and until further notice, so we need to be respectful to what she's placing, responsibility she's placing on us and how she chooses to conduct the meetings. And on that, I yield the rest of my time.
council members prior, not even just this week, prior. So I believe, is it Friday? Okay, so Friday prior. So you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So let's don't count Thursday, but let's say you need, to get mentally prepared to come to the meetings. So you have 6 days to review the packet, okay? So you have all that time to review the packet, send in your questions, and I just want to make it clear also to the public that, and to the people here, that's not always happening, that questions are not always sent in that's related to the packet. It's not always just a receipt, and the city attorney can attest to that. It's not always just simple of just receive. There has been questions that have been answered. Now, a lot of times when we say, oh, things have just been received, actually, that's talking about something from a long time ago. And another thing, when we talk about what other cities do, because I go to a lot of functions with other cities, I talk to the mayors of other cities and how they run their meetings. Matter of fact, it's going to be interesting because I know one mayor actually made a comment today when we were walking from Northeast Partnership meeting, and he was saying that, he was like, I got 9 agenda items on there, and he was just like, we'll be out within an hour. Because this is not the time. This is not the time up here for the discussion and the debate. This is not a debate. We're not up here to debate. You're up here to conduct business. So you do your research. If you have questions or follow-up questions, 5 minutes is sufficient. You don't go back. I don't know. Now, I've been in plenty of board meetings and sitting back from all sides. You don't go back and forth this debate. It's not a debate. It's time to do business when you're up here. So everybody should do their due diligence for the 6 days. If you have any questions, send them in. And then also too, make an appointment. That's another thing. And that's another thing I want to tell to the citizens and the community members. We have those who don't actually make appointments, who don't want to come see. Some may not even be, I know some might not be in the state, or they might be out of town or something, but we should try to do your due diligence about, if you really have a question, ask. That is not happening, and that is a fact. And Mr. Jones, our city attorney, because we have council members who CC you on pretty much everything, right?
Right.
Which is costing us $21, by the way, every time he opens an email. Just want to say that. When that happens, how many times normally, lately, has it been, like at the beginning, it was you were being CC'd, and it was actually some questions. Have they never been answered?
I think I had a couple questions from Councilwoman Street, and I think the city manager had answered them, I want to say it was today or yesterday. Yeah. Not on questions on the revenue and expense report came in today about 5:03 from the city manager.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, today.
Okay. And that was about, what is about, what it was about?
One of them was a media inquiry seeking official comment, but
Okay.
that's,
Wasn't me.
Okay, and the other thing, I keep hearing this thing with the secretary that I just randomly came up with and said some things. I just wanted, before Chief Cardona, can you maybe explain how this came about? Number one, and then number two, I just want to say I find it interesting, again, that you're utilizing your time, your 5 minutes to talk about, me not allowing you to talk 5 minutes. Chief Cardona.
Thank you, Mayor. So I've been here for years, and one of the things that bottom line is to stick around. I was the one that informed the mayor that it is time to follow the rules. Follow all of the rules. Sorry. It was made more effective when two council members actually said, hey, this is what we need. We have 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes and that's what we need. So, I went back to the mayor, I explained, hey, to make it fair, so people can talk, and there's less disruptions, the 5 minutes to be in place. Now, just a small little detail, because all of y'all are intelligent. In the same ordinance that was read, it uses may, not shall. You may, not you shall. And as long as that's there, it's not a matter of being personal. As long as that verbiage is there, it gives an option for that to not be utilized or be enforced. It's a may. It's in there. Don't attack the messenger. It's written in an ordinance. It's not a charter. It's not in the charter. It's in an ordinance. Just passed it. 30.07, you just read it. It is a simple, if you don't like something, instead of arguing about it, request for a change. That's how you make effective change. The 5 minutes allows, now if she's choosing to not allow y'all to go back and forth, it is because for years, this podium has been used to attack everyone, including employees. Attack each other for what? For what? We're not getting anywhere. We're not getting anywhere. So, regardless of who it is or how it's used, that is an option. There's also other ones that all of them need to be enforced. All of them need to be worked out. But there's so many that it's hard to do all at once.
Thank you. Moving on to 10 city manager updates. You don't even got it. City manager updates.
The staff worked very hard. Residents, council, just sharing with you all, a lot of things that has been on the agenda has been the coordination and hard work and effort by our staff who are supporting the direction that you all have given us. We had a community-wide cleanup where we had council members come out, the mayor, along with that was hosted by the Beautification and Recycling Committee, where we did a community-wide cleanup. We had staff members, we had community members, we had council members from other cities come out and participate. This is an activity that's supposed to happen quarterly, but it's been some years since the community has done this, and so I want to say thank you to those members who came out on May 16th to participate. We had an opportunity to participate, and TML IRP is our risk pool, but they had cybersecurity. We are making sure that we're aligning. It was in the city of Shirts, where we're working with our IT team, not Lone Cypress, they've changed the name for RGP, but in reference to what the city needs to be doing in reference to our cybersecurity. 2025, we had all staff and council be able to do the cybersecurity certification. Same thing for 2026. They have now implemented an AI portion, and so we've extended the deadline for when we have to certify with the DIR to September, and so you'll be getting some notification from Ms. Christine. We had city manager coffee. We had coffee with the city manager here on May 13th. Had an opportunity to participate in the Texas Municipal Human Resource Association conference. Also had the Ride Against Bullying Bike Month event was postponed, so it was an opening day pool. We had from that, we had all the other dates are on there, so residents and people on our agenda can stay informed. So we get many people saying they didn't know about things, so we put it on the agenda. It's on the door of the City Hall, it's on the website, it's on our emergency notification, it's on Instagram, it's on we are just continuing to expand the message. Our next thing we plan to do is work through, outlining other means of communication to make sure we're still staying involved. As you see, some of the meetings that's come, there's a correction. The charter review, I think it says Monday, May 29th, it's June 29th. And the town hall meeting is June 17th. Is it 6 o'clock, not 6:30? It'll be here. Please come out so you can get a recap of what we've done 2 additional times, talking about the investments. Today, we had the opportunity to go to NEP, myself and the mayor, and then came rushed back because we had our important call with the S&P rating agency. The S&P rating agency is the rating agency that gives your status in reference to your rating for your city. One of the questions they asked was about why so much transition here in the city of Kirby. Right now we're at A+, and so based on our questions, our report that was submitted by myself, Ms. Leanne, and Ms. Wilson, with that call that we scheduled for an hour was only 30 minutes. And so it's a testament of what the employees are doing to try to improve the community here in Kirby. Again, we are reiterating. Executive leadership staff meets, we have a morning huddle for 30 minutes every morning, going over projects and things that we've completed for that yesterday. What are we working on today? Do you have any roadblocks, or what we call projects in the queue? And so if you've had the opportunity to have that type of leadership or that type of experience working at that level, you would understand that it takes everybody working together to be able to collectively move the mission, and the mission is to improve the lives, the resources, the culture here in the city of Kirby. And we are dedicated and determined to do that. And so our S&P call we have a follow-up. June 17th is the town hall. June 25th, we will have our bond council here, which is separate from our general attorney. Just like we've had the financial advisor on 2 agenda items previously, who've come to speak before city council and the residents. So I don't know when people don't understand and know what's going on with the CO. I mean, everyone could Google, right? Certificate of obligation. And so we've been walking hand in hand in reference to listening what residents have said they wanted. We didn't have a number of 15,000. We didn't have a number. We started project by project, listening to people, listening to what you all have heard. Water well, streets, fire engine, this building that's falling apart. It's not new. So if you took those responsibilities serious, these are some things that you would already know. And all we did was package it, provide it over and over and again to those people who wanted to be engaged. So again, I stand before you with the support of staff who's going to continue to make sure that the city of Kirby keeps Kirby forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to 11, request and announcement request by mayor and council members for items based on future city council agendas and announcements on city events and community interests. Councilmember Street.
Okay. In response to the comments made, I have emailed my questions before the meeting on numerous occasions, including this week. Over the past 14 months, I have gotten less than 5 actual responses to those questions prior to the meeting. There is no back and forth of information. You may have access. I'm so happy for you. I do not. He doesn't answer my calls. He doesn't answer my emails. I don't see his car here when I drive by, so I don't stop. If I have to make an appointment with someone who's supposed to be here from 8 to 5, I don't understand the point of me being here. Why is he here? He's not ever here. Anyway, if the building is falling apart, why are we still meeting here? I'm waiting for the roof to fall in. Really? Aren't we worried about the safety of everybody that works in here? If the building is just gonna fall down, I don't see that happening. This is my third request for a list of projects. I sent you emails as well. You must have an idea of what you want to do with the $15 million. You came up with a total, so on the next agenda, please give us a list of projects and the estimates you used to get a total so we can discuss it at the next meeting. I also emailed you and asked the same question on June 1st and June 10th. I got no reply, not even a received or received with thanks. I don't understand the problem. Anyway, this is a third request. On the next agenda, I'm asking for an explanation of where this $15 million is coming from and specific to our situation, not hypothetical, but how the city will fund $15 million and repay it. Yes, I got the email that included the 35-page ordinance that you want us to approve on July 9th. However, there are no numbers to compare, even pretend numbers, even estimates. We need to be able to compare or contemplate with regard to how we're going to repay this big chunk of money that you think we need to have without any safety net, without any guarantee. We're not even going to be able to raise the taxes we need to without a vote in November. So I don't know where you think the money's going to come from. You have not given me any details on that. I don't care if the lady's coming on July 9th or whenever that is to explain the bond the same day we're going to vote on it. That's not going to work. We can't discuss it, we can't look anything up, we can't do any comparisons. Also, the third time, it's time to start working on the budget. Will the city manager please give council a list of possible dates for budget workshop meetings? It's vacation season, we need to be sure that we can work around absences. We cannot wait until August to start the process when you want to do a retreat, which was useless last time. Third request, I'm asking for an updated salary list to be sent to all of council. I requested that list last August and you sent it to me. It needs to be updated with the new names and positions for our budget discussions. Third request, on the finance report and the 2025 budget, there's a line item under admin 10-520-3215 for contract services, HR. So far, we've only spent $271. What is the name of this company and why aren't we making use of them? I'd like to put the HR contractor on the next agenda so that the city manager can explain their duties and responsibilities. In conjunction with that, how many new hires do we have? Or are there still so many empty positions? It can't only be because of the pay. The lack of transparency and accountability by the city manager and the mayor is troubling me. He says we've heard all this. We have not heard all of this. We have no documents until right before the meeting. He can say it all day, but it's not true. I have seen a new face in City Hall, but I have no idea who he is or what position he holds. He must be an employee because he can go in the back where I'm not allowed to without an escort. I can't even check my own mailbox. I have to trust that I'm being given all of my mail. This just doesn't seem right. I don't know who works here. They're not divulging any of that information. To our employees, I thank you for your dedication to the city and good night.
Thank you. Councilmember Garza?
I want to say good evening, Kirby residents. I want to speak tonight not just as a council member, but as someone who has lived here nearly my entire life. Someone who loves this community and believes deeply in what Kirby can be. One thing I know for certain is that Kirby is always best when we're together, not when we're divided. Not when personal agendas come before public service. Not when a handful of voices make a decision for everyone else. We are strongest when residents are engaged, informed, and involved in shaping the future of our city. The truth is that our city faces real challenges. Our streets need attention. Our infrastructure is aging. Residents have watched taxes increase. Water bills have increased. The cost of living continues to rise, and many families are feeling the strain. The people of Kirby deserve to know exactly where their money is going and why. If we are going to ask residents to support major investments in our city, then they should have a voice in those decisions. They should have the opportunity to vote on projects that will impact them for the years to come. Too often I hear from residents who feel like decisions are being made for them instead of with them. When we discuss borrowing money, residents deserve specifics. They deserve transparency. They deserve to know what projects are being funded and what the cost will be and what the long-term impact will be on the city that they call home. That isn't obstruction, it's not negativity, it's accountability. And the people paying the bills should have a voice in how those bills are spent. I also believe we need to have an honest conversation about priorities. Every dollar we spend is a dollar that came from our residents. Every tax dollar represents someone working hard to support their family. Because of that, we have the responsibility to make sure those dollars are being spent on the needs of the community, not on personal priorities or projects that fail to improve the daily lives of our residents. When I talk to people throughout Kirby, they don't tell me they're worried about the politics. They tell me they're worried about the streets that need repair, the drainage issues, and the rising costs. They tell me they want our city government to listen, and that those are the conversations that we should be having. And yet there are times when important topics never seem to make it on agendas. Questions go unanswered, requests for discussion are delayed or ignored, and residents deserve better than that. Transparency is not simply posting an agenda. Transparency means allowing difficult questions to be asked. It means allowing debate. It means allowing council members to challenge ideas, seek answers, and speak on the behalf of those people who elected them. Government works best when there is accountability, not when accountability is viewed as an inconvenience. I believe we should be encouraging more citizen involvement, not less. We need more residents attending meetings, more residents sending emails, more residents speaking during public comment, and more residents running for office. But most importantly, we need more residents voting. Because when citizens become disengaged, power becomes concentrated in the hands of a few. When citizens become involved, government becomes responsive to the people it serves. Kirby belongs to all of us, not the mayor, not this council, not city staff. It belongs to the residents. The reason why any of us sit on this dais is because the people entrusted us to that responsibility, and we are here to represent them, not ourselves. Our goal should not be to leave the future generations with unnecessary debt. Our goal should be to leave them with a stronger city. Our goal should not be to limit discussion. Our goal should be to encourage it. Our goal should not be to silence differing opinions. Our goal should be to listen even when we disagree. Because at the end of the day, residents want the same thing: a safer, stronger, more prosperous Kirby. And we should look to achieve that not through division, but through participation. Not through personal agendas, but through community priorities. Not by shutting residents out, but by bringing them in. Kirby has always been a city built on hardworking families and engaged citizens. The future of our city depends on those same people stepping forward once again. So to the residents, all I can say is get involved, ask questions, send emails, vote, run for office, hold all of us accountable, because we are better together, and the best days of Kirby are still ahead of us if we choose to build them together. Now, with that said, I would like to see Councilwoman Street's request fulfilled, as they've been over and over asked for. Also, I would like the situation with the gentleman on the video, or on crime control, investigated, as we seem to be running out volunteers. Lastly, I would like to address this performance and say, and you need to understand that not everyone gets the same opportunities that you have. Okay, some don't get any response. You may get a response, but others don't. So, to speak on the idea that we all get treated the same, it's a fallacy. Consider Councilwoman Street has asked for the same thing to be placed on the agenda multiple times, and it still has not made it. Consider that before you make your comments. Also, last time Councilwoman Street made an appointment, she got investigated to the sum of $10,000 to the city. Okay? Thanks.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca?
I've had several residents ask me about saying what's going on in Kirby. And so I'm going to say, I'm going to mention it again. Please take the time to enroll in the mass notification system. You'll get your information that way. Don't, and people, I've seen on Facebook also that people are asking questions that could be answered if they would just look on the city website and again, enrolling in mass notification. So the answers are out there, the information is there. It's just a matter of the residents using tip 411, using the mass notification, looking on the city website. The information is all there. And we've gotten a lot of rain lately. I know everyone's yards are a mess. please take the time to clean up. I know it's difficult with the rain starting and stopping, but please take pride in your homes. Cut your grass, trim your grass. Remember, your clippings cannot stay in the street. You have to blow them back up on your yard. And also, I've noticed that there are fewer strays around, fewer dogs running around, or at least I haven't seen them. For some reason, they were coming to my house pretty frequently, so I've seen a decline in that. Thank you, Animal Control, for that. And thank you for everyone that came out today.
Thank you, Councilor Lozano.
Yes, I'd like to, of course, start off by saying thank you to everybody that's here, all the residents that came to speak up, to just listen, to support the city, and to be involved. And also to our city staff, our police department, fire department, animal care services, public works, our senior center director, city secretary, our city manager, city attorney, everybody. Thanks a lot for everything that you do, especially during this past weather event. I appreciate everyone that was out there helping, and also the volunteers that came through, Poseidon and Salvation Army and whatnot. I just want to share what my reality is, my experience here is. I do not, or I am not afforded the ability to get questions answered via email, or the ability to have appointments. If I do, it's I gotta be escorted, or there's gotta be somebody there with me. I guess, I don't know, I'm intimidating, I don't know. But I guess that's for the safety of both of the people that are involved in that meeting. If others don't have that, don't need to have a chaperone, then that's good. Good for them, but my reality is that it's never been like that for me. My emails, past 2 weeks, I sent emails in regards to some flooding on the streets that residents were concerned about on Fox Cross. And I asked if we could get an update. And there was something else in addition to that that was also sent via email. I have yet to receive a response on it. There was a resident that asked a question about a $1,000 permit, for a business. I believe it was Spirits something to that extent. I don't know what happened. I asked for an update. I asked, could you please reach out and let me know? I didn't get anything. I'm still waiting on a response. So that's the type of experiences I have. I don't have what maybe others here on the dais experience. I wish I did, because that is how I am going to do my job effectively, the one that I was elected to perform by the residents of Kirby. And so, I've asked for several items to be placed on the agenda several times. They have yet to be placed on the agenda. Other people can request it. The next agenda item, the next agenda meeting, they're on there. And so there is not equality here. There is not fairness here. I don't care what everybody else says. My experience is not the same. And so, having said that, I'm hoping that we could, on the next agenda, that we start talking about budgets, because that is coming up. the list of projects that we're gonna be working on, that will include the 15 million that we are trying to get, our residents to, agree to so that they could, pay taxes on that. And, an update on all the job positions. So far, we have 15 job positions open, including, department heads, fire chief, and finance director, and public works. And I'd like to know the interviews, the people that have applied. I'd like an update on that. I've been requesting it. It's been almost 6 months since we got a public works director, and it's been longer than that for a finance director. And so, again, this will probably be my 5th or 6th time I've asked for it, and I'm hoping it'll make it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hornet?
I want to start by saying thank you to everyone, the citizens and security, police, everyone that's here in attendance tonight and made it this long with us. We're going pretty late. I do appreciate that. I appreciate everyone that's online and anyone that's going to be watching during the replay. We do need citizens, community involvement in everything that we're doing going forward. I also want to just end by encouraging everyone again to come out to the town hall meeting that is going to be on June 17th at 6 p.m. because there's a lot of misleading information out there. There's a lot of questions out there, and the appropriate place to get the most accurate information is to come and get involved and get those questions answered. Even if you cannot attend, have someone ask that question for you, or someone may ask that question in your absence, or have a similar question. So watch the replay online if you cannot make it here in person. And I would like to encourage people to get the information, the factual information, not misleading or partial information. Come out and get your questions answered directly from the source. If there's any confusion as to what's going on with the city, sign up for notifications, such as Mayor Pro said, sign up for notifications, and please, please, please continue to get involved. I'm going to lead by example and stay involved as well. The last thing I'm going to say is, actually, everyone else pretty much spoke up on my ending notes here. I just want to just continue by reminding people to come to the town hall. There's a lot of questions. Come get your question answered directly from the source. And on that note, I'm going to say goodnight, and should I say goals first?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So there's Flag Day will be held Friday, June 12th at the fire station at 8:30 a.m. So that's tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Flag Day that's open to everyone. Come out and support Flag Day. As we know also, we're celebrating our 250th for our country. Our 250th for the United States. Okay, so there's so much that can be said, and I'm just not even going. It's so much. Thank you for those who, after the meetings and before the meetings and throughout the week, when you contact me and we have these conversations at the stores or wherever we're at, and you ask questions, and when I explain to you like what's happening, you're like, okay, got it. There's a lot of misinformation that's going online. It's unfortunate, but there is. I want to make sure that I point out the city of Kirby has its own social media. The city of Kirby has its own social media. Now we have the mass notification. Also, we have tip 411. It's very important that you guys, please, 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 community members, go on there, sign up, go to the City of Kirby website, go to the City of Kirby social media. There's other sites out there that if you type in Kirby, that is not the City of Kirby. Matter of fact, I was somewhere this weekend in San Antonio, and they were talking about the web, talking about social media. And so they're like, oh yeah, that page. And I was like, that's not the official page. Because sometimes they tell me the next time I see them, they tell me the next time we have our mayor's meeting, whatever, they let me know. Hey, why are they doing this, or why is this happening? You know, council members too, say, hey, 5 minutes? Like, wow, they're really like, they're talking about 5 minutes. They're talking about not being able to talk for 5 minutes. Like, some people just can't fathom that. And so, there's a lot of things that happen, but also too, we go back to the track record. We're not gonna take the time to go back and check everybody's emails. So when you sent an email and you said that you didn't receive anything, or somebody contacted you, they didn't contact you, that happens quite often where somebody says they didn't get anything and they have. The last time that Councilmember Street, as one of the council members mentioned, did have a meeting, set up an appointment, that is correct, but then she threatened to punch the city manager.
I did not.
There was one, ma'am, we're not
I
gonna be
did
yelling.
not.
Ma'am, there's witnesses, we're not gonna be yelling, and there's witnesses, so please don't do that.
Yelling is not against the law.
Ma'am, you are not gonna be yelling in here.
Well, you're not gonna be lying either.
I'm not lying, and there's a witness, it's in the report.
I did not threaten him.
Okay,
And it is
so I
in the
guess
report that I did not do that.
you threatened to punch him. It's in the
I